There is a quiet malfunction happening inside your brain. Not dramatic, not explosive, just persistent. And the longer it runs unchecked, the harder it becomes to remember what satisfaction even used to feel like. On this episode of HumanGlitch, we're examining why your brain is stuck wanting more, how a broken reward system quietly drains life satisfaction, why overconsumption is a symptom rather than the cause, and how this glitch became one of the most profitable features of the modern world. Once you notice the pattern, the next question becomes unavoidable. What exactly is causing this erosion to begin with? This isn't about greed. It's not about being spoiled, ungrateful, or undisciplined. It's about what happens when the human reward system is exposed to too much signal for too long and slowly loses its ability to register meaning at all. You notice it in small ways first. The thing you wanted finally arrives and the feeling is already gone. The upgrade feels normal by the next day. Comfort stops comforting. Rest doesn't restore you. You scroll, buy, consume, refresh, without hunger, without pleasure, without relief. More keeps happening, but less keeps landing. This is not collapse, yet. It is the first downgrade. Less reward than expected, less pleasure than promised, less satisfaction than memory suggests. Threat level 1, the loss of satisfaction. Life still functions, but the payoff quietly shrinks. Neuromarketing researchers have a term for this: reward saturation. When the brain is exposed to high-frequency dopamine triggers, it stops responding proportionally. Studies show that the average person now encounters between 6,000 and 10,000 branded messages per day, each one subtly training desire without delivering fulfillment. And the most unsettling part is this: nothing feels wrong enough to alarm you, but nothing feels right enough to satisfy you either. At this stage, the danger is subtle because dissatisfaction does not hurt enough to demand change, but it lingers long enough to reshape behavior. At this point, most people are given an explanation, but it's the wrong one. We're told this is a personal failure, that if you were more mindful, more grateful, more present, this wouldn't happen. But this glitch is not a character flaw. It's a systems issue because we are living inside an environment that never lets the reward system reset. The human brain evolved for contrast. Scarcity followed by relief. Effort followed by reward. Waiting followed by meaning. But modern life removes the waiting and floods the brain with reward signals without reward substance. Infinite choice, instant access, endless novelty, constant comparison. Brand psychologists openly describe this shift. Products are no longer designed to meet needs. They are designed to attach to identity. You are no longer buying utility. You are buying reassurance, status, belonging, and future versions of yourself. This is where consumption stops solving problems and starts managing emotion. The product becomes a shortcut to how you want to feel. The most alarming part is that this experience is nearly identical no matter where you look. Millions of people, across cultures and income levels, are reporting the same experience. That doesn't point to individual weakness. And this is where the real mechanism comes into focus: the system that decides what you want in the first place. This points to a systems-level problem because the human brain did not evolve inside an environment of infinite reward cues. And the dopamine system, the circuit responsible for motivation, desire, and anticipation, was never designed for infinity. Dopamine doesn't measure pleasure, it measures expectation. Most people think dopamine is about feeling good. It isn't. It's about pursuit. It fires before the reward, not after. It's what pushes you toward the thing, not what lets you enjoy it. And when dopamine is triggered too often, too easily, and without effort, the system doesn't get excited. It gets quiet. This is the part no one tells you. Overstimulation doesn't make the brain frantic forever. Eventually, it makes it numb. Neuroscience studies show that chronic overstimulation lowers dopamine receptor sensitivity, meaning it takes more stimulation to feel less reward. The signal-to-noise ratio collapses. Everything blends together. Nothing stands out long enough to feel meaningful. And so, the brain compensates the only way it knows how. It raises the baseline. What once felt rewarding now feels neutral. What once felt exciting now feels expected. And what once felt enough no longer registers at all. This is threat level 2. Not just less pleasure, but less emotional depth, less contrast, less ability to feel when something actually matters. Neuroscientists have observed that chronically overstimulated brains show reduced sensitivity not just to pleasure, but to emotion overall. Joy flattens. Sadness dulls, curiosity fades, experience becomes compressed into extremes, either high stimulation or low-grade boredom. This is why people describe feeling numb even while constantly entertained. The system has not removed emotion, it has compressed it. The system has narrowed the emotional bandwidth, and the most dangerous part of this glitch is that it disguises itself as normal. And modern life doesn't just keep the treadmill moving, it accelerates it. So desire grows louder, but fulfillment grows thinner. Not because you want too much, but because your reward system has been trained to expect more than reality can deliver. This is the hedonic treadmill at full speed, not just adapting to pleasure, but outrunning satisfaction entirely. And once dopamine is hijacked by constant stimulation, the brain stops asking, "Did this fulfill me?" It only asks one question: what's next? This is why infinite choice feels less like freedom and more like fatigue. Studies in decision science show that when options exceed a certain threshold, satisfaction drops even when the outcome is objectively better. The brain burns energy evaluating, comparing, and imagining alternatives long after the decision is made. You don't enjoy what you chose because your attention is still haunted by what you didn't. And this is where the hedonic treadmill becomes inescapable. The most unsettling part of it all? This didn't happen by accident. And once you begin to notice how often this system is triggered, one realization becomes unavoidable. Your restlessness may not be yours at all. Because when restlessness no longer belongs to you, it becomes a resource, and resources in modern systems are always extracted. The same neurological loop that keeps you scrolling, clicking, upgrading, and comparing is the loop most digital platforms, brands, and algorithms are explicitly designed to exploit. Entire industries are built around measuring how long they can keep your dopamine system in a state of anticipation without ever letting it resolve. This is where restlessness becomes valuable because a mind that never settles is a mind that keeps consuming. This phenomenon is known as variable reward scheduling, the same mechanism used in slot machines. You don't get rewarded every time, but you get rewarded often enough that your brain keeps leaning forward. The uncertainty becomes the hook. Social media feeds refresh endlessly for a reason. Notifications arrive unpredictably for a reason. Sales, drops, updates, and limited time offers are engineered to spike anticipation, not satisfaction. The goal is not to make you happy. The goal is to keep you wanting. Satisfaction ends the loop. Wanting keeps it profitable. This is how the loop is kept alive. Brands don't just sell products anymore. They sell stories. Carefully shaped narratives designed to attach emotion to consumption. Not so you buy once, but so you identify, share, and recruit on their behalf. Loyalty programs deepen the loop. Tiered rewards, early access, members only. Not to reward satisfaction, but to delay it. To make stopping feel like falling behind. And personalization seals the system. Algorithms learn your preferences faster than you consciously can. Offers arrive pre-filtered. Experiences feel tailored. Wanting feels intuitive, almost like it came from you. But when desire is continuously anticipated, rewarded just enough, and endlessly customized, wanting never resolves. It renews, extending into identity. This is where things get worse. At this point, the damage is no longer emotional, it's directional. This is threat level 3, outsourced identity. When desire no longer feels chosen, but automatic. When identity itself is outsourced. Brand psychology no longer asks, what problem does this solve? It asks, who does this allow you to become? Clothing brands sell belonging. Tech brands sell intelligence and status. Wellness brands sell moral superiority. Luxury brands sell distance from others, from scarcity, from fear. Every purchase becomes symbolic, a small narrative about who you are or who you are trying to be. This is where identity enters the loop. And once identity is involved, stopping feels like losing something personal. But here's the catch. Identity-driven consumption never completes because identity is not something you can finish buying. So who actually benefits from never feeling finished? A person who is fully satisfied is hard to monetize. A person who is slightly restless, perpetually wanting, and never quite fulfilled is extremely profitable. And the more normal that state feels, the longer it can be sustained. This is why the glitch persists, not because it benefits you, but because it benefits the systems surrounding you. And this is the moment where awareness becomes uncomfortable. Once you see how often your attention, desire, and anticipation are being pulled, shaped, and redirected, it becomes difficult to pretend the feeling is accidental. Awareness does not break the system instantly, but it removes its invisibility. Not because the system disappears, but because unconscious loops rely on invisibility. And once a loop is seen clearly, it can no longer run silently in the background. And once you notice it, you start hearing the hum everywhere.